Alright, in this video we are going to be doing word problems dealing with order of operations. TEKS 5.4F. There is a companion video that goes with this that does just computation. This video will be pretty computation heavy too, though, as order of operations problems usually will be requiring you to do a fair amount of computation on them. So also as another note, when you're doing these, it's very important for you to show your work on them and to write them out, to write out every step. This is good preparation to get you ready for algebra. Because even though you could do some of these in your head, you really need to put pencil to paper and get in the habit of doing these on paper just to develop those good habits. All right, because once you get into that higher level algebra, you're not going to be able to do that. All right, so on number 1, Reginald needs to create an expression, or it creates expressions that are equal to 4. He records some ideas as shown below. Which of Reginald's expressions does not have a solution of 4? All right, so we're just creating expressions that are equal to 4, and I'm looking for the one that does not equal 4, or have a solution of 4. So as I'm doing this, unfortunately, the only way to really do it and to have confidence in my answers, I've got to do every single one of these. All right, so this is going to take a fair amount of computation on it, but I need to put pencil to paper on all these. One, because it's very easy to get distracted as you're doing this and make a mental mistake if you try to do it in your head. And the other one, just like I said, is you need to get in the habit of doing these. So when you get into longer equations that require multiple steps, you're already in the habit of doing this. So what I'm going to do on each of these is I'm going to rewrite the expression, and then I'm going to do one operation and then rewrite the rest of the problem until I get to my final answer. So PEMDAS, which I guess I'm probably going to write, let's write here for now. We may have to write it again so it's in the frame, but we'll keep that there for now. So PEMDAS tells me I've got to do my parentheses first, so 4 times 4 is going to give me 16, and then I'm just going to rewrite the rest of the problem around it on that next line. All right, no more parentheses because I did the operation that was inside of them. I don't have exponents. I won't have exponents in any of these problems because this is 5th grade level stuff and we don't do exponents yet. Multiplication, division. So now I'm looking, do I have any multiplication or division? I do have a division operation in here, so I'm going to do that. 16 divided by 4, which is 4, and then I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem around it. Come back through, no parentheses, no exponents, no multiplication, no division, so now I'm to addition and subtraction. Now, when I have to choose between addition and subtraction, I'm always going to start at the left and work to the right. All right, so left first and right second. All right, so first operation to the left is this, so 4 plus 4 gives me 8. 8 minus 4 gives me 4, and there's my final answer. So letter A checks out. It does have a solution of 4, so it's not going to be my correct answer. All right, so on to letter B. I'm going to label these A, B, C, D. All right, so I'm scoot over a little bit so everything's in the frame. My answer choices won't be, but you'll be able to see this. All right, so step 1, 4 minus 4, because I'm going to do the parentheses first. That's what PEMDAS tells me I'm supposed to do first. So 4 minus 4, or 4 times 4 gives me 16. Then I'm going to rewrite. All right, got another set of parentheses. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Then I'm going to rewrite. Now, no parentheses, no multiplication, no division, no exponents. So I'm at adding and subtracting now. And remember, I'm working from left to right. When I have an addition, subtraction, this is also true of multiplication, division. If I have a choice between two operations, I'm just starting at the left and working to the right. So I'm going to do 16 minus 1, which gives me 15, plus 4 is going to give me 19 as my final answer. So, letter choice B, unless I made an error somewhere in there, that may be my answer, because 19 is absolutely not 4. But I still need to check C and D, just to be sure. All right, so we've got 4 divided by 4 times 4 minus 4 plus 4. All right, parentheses first. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Second set of parentheses, 4 minus 4 is 0. Then I've got multiplication addition, so I'm going to do multiplication first. 1 times 0 is 0, plus 4. 0 plus 4 is 4. So C does have a solution of 4. All right, and now for letter D. 4 plus 4 times 4. All right, scoot this over just a little bit so it's in the frame. All right, so we're going to do our parentheses first. 4 minus 4 is 0, and then I'm going to rewrite. All right, I've got a choice between either this multiplication or this division. Remember, when we have that choice, we're going to work left to right. So I'm going to start with 4 times 0 is 0, and then rewrite. 0 divided by 4 is 0, and then my final 4 plus 0 is 4. So D also has an answer of 4. So B ends up being my correct answer because the answer is 19 on it. Okay. Number 2, similar type of question. Which of the following numerical expressions has a value less than 40? So I'm going to have to work each one of these problems and see which one has a value that's less than 40. Sorry about that, I had somebody at my door. All right, let's go and do this first one. So I'm going to do the parentheses first. So 180 divided by 6 is 30. Then I'm going to rewrite. Another set of parentheses, 6 times 2 is 12. Then I'm going to rewrite. Since I've got an addition to subtraction choice, I'm just going to work left to right. So 30 minus 2 gives me 28 plus 12. 28 plus 12 is 40. So answer choice A is 40. So it's not less than 40, so that's not going to work. All right, let's look at B. And B, I'm pretty sure, has a typo, because that first parentheses doesn't really belong anywhere. This doesn't really go with anything, so I don't even need it. Okay, got parentheses first, so we're going to do those first. So 6 times 2 is 12, and then I'm going to rewrite. Then I've got a division over here, so 180 divided by 6 is 30. Then I'm going to rewrite. And then once again, 30 minus 2 gives me 28 plus 12. Remember, I'm doing the subtraction first because it's on the left, so I'm working left to right once I'm left with only addition or subtraction. 28 plus 12 gives me 40 again. So B's not a good answer choice. It's not less than 40. All right, on to C. And answer choice C actually looks exactly like answer choice B. I think there was probably a typo with that parentheses that we had. So, but since this is pretty much the same thing, I can eliminate C. There's no reason to redo all that computation. So I'm left with D, which I'm actually going to do right underneath it, since I've got the space. So first set of parentheses, and then I'm going to rewrite. All right, then I've got to do the parentheses, and in the parentheses I've got two operations, and I need to start with the multiplication, and then rewrite. Finish my parentheses out, and rewrite. 30 minus 14 is going to give me 16 as an answer, which is less than 40, so D is my answer. Same as B. All right, on to the next page. Now, you'll get questions like this as well where you're asked to find a mistake you'll either be given a set of operations and asked to find a mistake, or like this one, they'll actually say he multiplied, then he divided, then he added, and then where's his mistake at. The best way to do that on this is just do the problem yourself and then go back through and say, okay, what I do first, what I do second, what I do third. All right, so let's do it. So first we're going to do our parentheses. We're going to multiply 3 times 2, which will give us 6. Then we're going to rewrite. Next we're going to divide 36 by 6 to give us 6. And then final step is we're going to add 2 plus 6 to get 8. So first thing we did was to multiply, because we multiplied 3 times 2. Second thing we did was to divide, which is also what he did. And the third thing we did was to add. So his work is correct. He didn't make a mistake, at least not according to his steps. All right. Now, this next one is interesting because it's a whole lot of words, but then they just give you the expression that you're going to use. So Ben earned $14 washing dishes and $25 washing clothes. His brother Duncan received money when he completed some chores, but Ben earned triple the amount. Duncan spent $2 of his earnings to rent a movie. The expression below can be used to calculate the amount Duncan had left. How much money did Duncan have left? So we don't really have to decode this, which is nice. It just gives us the expression, and we just need to solve it. So I'm going to rewrite it down here so that we have a little space. Do my parentheses first. 14 plus 25 is going to give me 39. Then rewrite. 39 divided by 3 is going to give me 13. Then rewrite. 13 minus 2 gives me 11. So he had $11 left over. All right, on to number 5. Number 5 is a little bit similar to the one earlier where we were trying to find a mistake. This, though, is just asking what the actual operational order was. So again, best thing to do is just do the problem and then look back and see what you did. 7 minus 4, we're going to do the parentheses first because it gave me 3. Then I'm going to rewrite it. I've given a choice between a division and a multiplication. So remember, I'm going to work left to right. So I'm going to divide first. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Then I'm going to rewrite. Multiply. 2 times 5 is 10. Rewrite. And then finally 9 plus 10 is 19. So the first thing I did was I multiplied. No, I'm sorry, the first thing I did was I subtracted in those parentheses. So C and D don't work. Second step, I divided 27 by 3. All right, so A and B still working. Third step, I multiplied 2 times 5. So that eliminates A. Fourth step I added, so B is my correct answer. All right, number 6. Similar to what we did earlier on number 1, but these aren't quite as intense. So I need to find an expression that's equivalent to 32. So I'm just going to do these, and you can kind of watch what I'm doing. So on all of these, pretty much had a parentheses with an addition and then some kind of an operation after. So pretty easy to knock those out. And this was my correct answer, because that actually gave me 32, which is what I needed. All right, last problem. Now, this one's similar to the one earlier where they give us a whole bunch of words and text, and then they just give us the expression. So again, if they give you the expression, and sometimes it's best to read through it, but you don't necessarily have to mark it all up if they're going to give you the expression at the end. So at a clothing store, Zoe bought 2 shirts for for $7.25 each. That's this part of the expression, by the way. And 2 pairs of jeans for $24 each. There's this part of the expression right here. She used a coupon for $10 off the total price of the clothes. That's this part is taking away $10. The discounted price of the clothes Zoe bought can be found using this expression. So it gives us the expression again, and then it just asks us, what is the discounted price in dollars and cents of the clothes that Zoe brought? So as far as this being a word problem, I mean, it's not much of a word problem because basically it says, hey, you see this expression? Just solve it. The only thing on this that might be a little challenging is remembering that this means to multiply. Whenever I have parentheses and a number just right up next to those parentheses, that means I'm going to multiply. All right, so I'm going to rewrite the expression down here so that I can do the work underneath. The other thing is this has got brackets as opposed to nested parentheses, but it's pretty much the same thing. A lot of times you'll see the brackets just put in there just so we can kind of see the difference between the parentheses and the brackets. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this multiplication. I technically have parentheses here, but really this is a multiplication step. Even though it's parentheses, it's really multiplication. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 7.25, which for time's sake, I'm just going to tell you is 14.5. And then I'm going to rewrite. Next step, I'm going to multiply 2 times 24, which is 48. And then I'm going to rewrite. Then I'm going to add 48 and 14.5. I'm going to show this off to the side a little bit, only because, remember, when we're adding with decimals, this is a whole number, so the decimal is actually right here. And so when I add decimals, I've got to make sure my decimals are lined up. If I'm adding a whole number, I just need to put the decimal at the end. And you can put a 0 here if you want to, just to kind of be a placeholder. And then I do the addition. So 5 plus 0 is 5, 4 plus 8 is 12, carry the 1, 1 plus 1 plus 4 is 6, and then I make sure my decimal is lined up. So I end up with 62.5 minus 10, and I can just use this down here to finish it up. And I get $52. And remember, they want it in dollars and cents, so I probably need to add that 0 back since they want it in a dollar amount.